I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Carson?
Here.
Dr. Fike?
Here.
Mrs. O'Rear?
Here.
Mr. Polakowski?
Here.
Mrs. Raymond?
Here.
Mrs. Rhodes?
Here.
Mrs. Heather Smith?
Here.
Kristen Smith?
Here.
Mrs. Williams?
Here. Still trying to get in here. Just wanted to announce that we were in executive session prior to this for some personnel matters and some legal matters. Public comment?
Jan Kiefer.
Jan Kiefer, 628 Homestead Avenue. Is it proper to take the mask off at the podium? I don't get out much. Letter went out to all the doctors around the country, some a little bit different, but pretty much specifically. Telling the physicians that we don't want you talking about any alternative treatments to the COVID situation. And that's been publicized now over the last week. And I want to throw out a number then. So I think we can all agree, like the numbers from the government. This is 3 minutes, right? Okay. The numbers from the government are 700,000. We can argue bits and bits on that, but if you look at the studies on the early treatment models on that, they would say that the number of lives that could have been saved on this team that you guys are playing with the mass vaccination, the lockdowns, all that stuff. The number of lives that we would have saved there would then have been 600,000 lives. That's a lot of, that's not 60, that's 600,000 lives. Because we have censoring, 3 minutes, la-di-da, la-di-da. We have suppression of people making rules, like Mr. Masher comes out of some meeting. Unlike him, I'll stand up, say, here's my sources. I'll talk all day on it. We'll come back and have 2 or 3 interactions, and we'll see what's proved and what's disproved. When you come down here and lay down the law that's killing 600,000 Americans, then we're going to hear you say, well, ask the CDC. Well, when people ask the CDC, they get the same result as I get here. So that's where we are in America. 600,000 lives. Thanks.
There is none.
Request for approval of 3 new bus drivers.
The board is asked, at the request of Quest, to approve the following new bus drivers: Danielle Patterson, Jessica Thomas, Robert Stewart. Clearances and driver information is on file with the administration.
Need a motion? I need a second.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Why is
Mr.
it a
Carr?
roll call?
Not pay Quest.
I mean, we're not hiring them, or Quest is hiring them, right?
But we pay Quest.
I would recommend that it be roll call.
Mr. Carson?
Yes.
Dr. Fike?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Rear?
Yes.
Mr. Polakowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Raymond?
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mrs. Heather Smith?
Yes.
Kristen Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Motion carries 9-all.
Approval of an FMLA for employee number 2823.
Board is asked to approve a 5-week FMLA for employee number 2823 to begin October 6, 2021.
I need a motion. Need a second.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call?
Dr. Fike?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Rear?
Yes.
Mr. Polakowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Raymond?
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mrs. Heather Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Kristen Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Carson?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
Employee number 1497 requests for sick leave only, not using FMLA at this time.
The board is asked to rescind the FMLA leave approved for employee number 1497, and that was approved on September 16th, 2021.
I need a motion. Make the
I'll
motion.
make the motion.
And I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion.
We're not voting to give her the request of the sick, we're giving him, I don't know, 1497, the request of the sick leave. It's just to rescind the FMLA, correct? Okay.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ratification of hiring for Alex Posado.
The board is asked to ratify the hiring of Alex Posado as a full-time day-to-day substitute for the science position at the high school on a temporary basis at the daily rate of pay of $208.93.
I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mrs. O'Rear?
Yes.
Mr. Polakowski?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mrs. Heather Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Kristen Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Carson?
Yes.
Dr. Fike?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
Hiring of custodial staff.
The board is asked to approve the hiring at the recommendation of Mr. Price, the following candidates for the position of custodian. They include Jennifer Sutton of Mount Pleasant, PA, full-time at a wage of $15.09 per hour. Jonathan Weston of Scottsdale, PA, full-time at a wage of $15.09 per hour. Eli Cirk of Scottsdale, PA, full-time at a wage of $15.09 per hour. Brenda Murray of Mount Pleasant, PA, full-time at a wage of $15.09 per hour. And Alice Hoke of Mount Pleasant, PA, substitute at a wage of $10 per hour.
I need a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Discussion.
Does this motion contain the condition that these employees are going to be under the auspices of the current but expired contract for things other than salary? For example, health care, things like that, vacation, all that, there's a particular salary, or we need a particular contract now. It's current but not new.
All the hires that you make now will be under the currently operative agreement, which is the one that's expired and continues to be negotiated.
And these are all pending clearances?
These would all be
Pending.
pending clearances, yes.
So does that have to be part of the motion?
Who made the motion?
Mrs. Raymond?
Can you amend your motion to be pending clearances?
Yes, I amend the motion.
Do we have a second still for that?
Mrs. O'Rear?
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I just want to go back to, we voted to advertise for 4.5, but we're doing 4 and a sub. So is it possible that we might still hire a staff, another half, or part-time, I guess is what that means, and more subs next week?
Possibly, yes.
Okay.
So the last one, you have full-time for the first 4. What do you call the last one that you're
He's
hiring?
a substitute.
That's just when he's called.
Yes. Is there any other discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Polakowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Raymond,
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mrs. Heather Smith,
Yes.
Mrs. Kristen Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Carson,
Yes.
Dr. Fike,
Yes.
Mrs. O'Rear,
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
School board meeting resolution.
Board is asked to approve resolution dated October 7th, 2021 regarding adoption of school board meeting changes.
I need a motion. I need a second.
I will second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mrs. Raymond,
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mrs. Heather Smith,
Yes.
Mrs. Kristen Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Carson,
Yes.
Dr. Fike,
No.
Mrs. O'Rear,
Yes.
Mr. Polakowski,
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries 8 yes, 1 no.
Sorry, where it's like on this that we just voted for, it says the board is asked to approve a resolution dated October 7th. Like, wouldn't we say resolution from February?
Because it's different. In February, we were fully remote all the time.
Okay.
The
So
resolution,
we're going to date it now, the 7th.
yeah, we're dating it now. When you open it up, it revises paragraph 2 from the February resolution within the language, so there's a little bit of
So the resolution is dated for today as we voted. Okay.
updating the prior resolution.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to need a 3-minute adjournment to allow anybody that's at home watching the meeting to call in for citizens' comments. 3-minute recess. I need a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Can you announce?
It should be linked, Mrs. Tarsan would have.
If anybody is wishing to call in for tonight's meeting for a comment section, the phone number to call in is 724-640-2609. Thank you.
I'm moving.
Need a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any call-ins, Dr. Clara?
Michelle, I have 2 items I'd like to discuss.
Any other public comment?
Jan Kiefer, 628 Homestead Avenue, Scottsdale. So on your scorecard, I got you on down for 600,000. I know it's not, this is where everyone definitely passes the buck, but I'm going to talk about vaccination for my time remaining. And someone you know, I've been up in front of this board for 15 or 20 years talking vaccination when I first started. It's coming in just much worse than we ever thought it would. And I say we because I'm in on this. The numbers are just blowing us out. And if you think the 600,000 is a little uncomfortable, or you want to disprove that or just blow it off, that's up to you. So I'll just end with this then. I'd like, do you think our community is properly educated to make an informed consent on the choice to either get a vaccination or have their child vaccinated? And if you can't answer that in the affirmative, then I would hold 6 or 8 mirrors up here next time I come and say, how can we graduate a kid who cannot make the critical assessment on the biggest controversial thing coming at us and coming to children for that point? And how is you as educators aren't on top of it to see these children are making a good decision? How can you let that one go? So you got 600,000 here, but now it's kids next time, and it's kids right now. So does someone want to come up and use this podium on your time and tell us why you think vaccination issue has been thoroughly brought out in the community? Because I've done surveys and I've read surveys, and I'll tell you what, I don't think the solicitor here could do anything more than answer the what's on the warning label. I would start with 30 things that aren't on the label that aren't legally you have to know, but the things that you should know. That's how skewed this game is that we're playing here. It's beyond proportions. So that's my question. Did you do your job? Can your kid get out of high school and make a critical decision on the decision to get vaccinated for their kid who's 3 years old or 6 years old or not? And I'll tell you, I know the answer to that. And you know the answer to that. Whose turn? You're all welcome to the public comment right now.
Thank you, Mr. Kiefer. Did you have something, Dr.?
Yes, I have 2 items that I would like to discuss. One of them I have brought up twice before, and I've had multiple inquiries, phone calls, and so forth, because there is some uncertainty about how this is being handled. And it is the issue of critical race theory being taught in our schools. I would like to, and I've been assured that we're not, but I don't see anything written anywhere. I don't see where the district has taken a formal stand. Has there been a memo go out to the faculty that say you're not allowed to do this? I don't know. But I do think it's up to the board to provide guidance to everybody in the form of a vote, a document that shows this. I'd like to make the motion that it be officially implemented in the Southmoreland School District that critical race theory in any form whatsoever and its fundamental concepts and contents will not be taught at any level in our schools. The administration is directed to implement this action and take all necessary preventative measures to assure that this directive is followed by all employees. That is my motion regarding critical race theory at Southmoreland.
The voting portion of the meeting has been completed. And the board, under Act 65, which is the amendment to the Sunshine Act, is limited around what items can be walked on to the agenda. Items need to be posted on the agenda for the public at least 24 hours in advance of the meeting. You are permitted to walk items on that are emergency, threat to life or Life or property is how Act 65 defines it. One thing that Act 65 does authorize you to do, if you would like as a board to direct your superintendent to look into whether there are writings around critical race theory and what status or stance has been taken, that is an item, an motion that could be done this evening.
That's one way to get around not doing it. I can see that. You know, I want to tell you a little bit of history. When I was on the board before, I found out, actually had physical evidence in my hand, that we had a teacher teaching the curriculum in Southmoreland from the Southern Poverty Law Center. I asked for an investigation. It was verified. The materials were obtained. And I do believe that a memo went out to the teachers. You will not teach the curriculum from the Southern Poverty Law Center. Been there, done that. This has happened before. So I have received the calls. I have had the inquiries. People have personally said, even down at the Southmoreland, Scottsdale Festival, what about the issue of critical race theory in Southmoreland? It's pervasive across the nation. There are thousands of schools that are teaching this.
I have a question. What scares you so much about teaching multiple perspectives of American history?
There you go. There you go. I hear you loud and clear.
I hope you do, because there is more to American history than the white version of it.
Hear this?
I hope everybody hears it. I'll advocate for it every day, all day long. There are other people in our community besides white people, and there is history in our country that involves people besides the white people who wrote the books.
So you advocate teaching critical race theory?
I advocate teaching all perspectives of American history. Always, all day, every day.
Let it be recorded as such.
I hope it's recorded. I'll put my name out there and let anyone who wants to know. I absolutely support teaching all perspectives of American history. The ugly ones, the ones that don't paint white people in the best light, the ones that acknowledge that people of color in this country have been treated like garbage. Yes, I will advocate for it all day, every day.
The public knows
That was
now.
Candace Raymond, in case anyone wants to know.
Well, I would like to see the board vote this down, vote it up or vote it down. I made the motion.
Well, don't we have to approve walking on a motion? We don't just get
Can't
to
walk
do
this
this.
on.
Can't do that.
Can't do it.
So then,
The only motion that you could walk on is to have the superintendent report back to the board on the status of teaching of critical race theory in the district.
Which he has done.
He already did that. He already did that.
Okay.
We've done that numerous times.
I have a quick question. So if it's not in our curriculum, as Mr. Masha has presented to us, I think recently, last few months at least, why is it an issue? Like, I just don't understand. Like, if we're not teaching it, then we're not teaching it. Why does it need to be an issue? You know what I mean? Like, if we're not teaching it, then it's not here. It's not in our curriculum.
We made the assumption that we weren't teaching the Southern Poverty Law Center curriculum either, and we were.
And not all things from the Southern Poverty Law Center are
bad.
correct.
I'm not very fluent on critical race theory. I don't really understand it, I guess you could say. But I mean,
The people who called me.
I just
this
think
is your
it's
answer.
shocking the amount of
answer.
emails and phone calls that I receive and haven't received this at all. I just think that speaks volumes to,
Me neither.
I mean, I haven't had
haven't
a single
either, not one.
person. What was that? I'm sorry.
I have not received anything as well. The only thing I have received is that Mr. Masha has said that we are not teaching that. And I also trust that our teachers are following Mr. Masha's lead and that they're teaching kindness and acceptance in all forms, in all places.
Yes, I agree.
There it is, folks.
Is that all you have, Dr. Fike?
No, I have a second one, but you're telling me that I can't walk anything on. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
There are only very limited items that can be walked on. It has to be an emergency item, that it involves threat to life or property, or something that is de minimis, for example, advising an administrator to look into something and report back to the board.
But that didn't work for this one.
Well, the motion you made was to prevent a certain curriculum topic from being taught, and that's a substantive motion. It is not, it's not within a de minimis action under Act 65, so it would not be able to be walked on.
How about something related to the educational damage that is occurring to our children? Does that qualify?
Dr. Fike, I think that what she's saying is that you have to make a motion to have Mr. Masha look into it.
Well, that was in my motion.
That's not,
I think-
not what was in the motion.
Part of my motion said the administration is then directed to implement the action, take all necessary preventative measures to assure that critical race theory is not taught and that all employees will be informed accordingly.
That's a substantive motion. It is not a de minimis motion having Mr. Masha report back on curriculum. It is a substantive concepts that would be put into and prevent teaching of that within the curriculum. So it is my advisement that that cannot be walked on this evening.
So I'm looking at not one, not two, but the third academic year now that our children have been affected by these regulations. We missed the last part of 1920. You all saw what happened in 2021, and we're rolling right into it again on 21-22. This is 3 years now that our kids have been affected, that their education has been affected. My concern is that, I don't know if it was Saul Alinsky in Rules for Radicals, or it was Engels or Marx or something. There's a very famous statement that says, if you tell a lie once, it's a lie. If you tell a lie 1,000 times, that lie becomes the truth. Our children are being devastated educationally. We have the achievement test scores, we have the lack of attendance, we are quarantined well kids. We're denying them the right to come to school. They're well, but they're in quarantine. Because the lies that are being perpetrated and absorbed and implemented by people like this. I have a document from an attorney. His name is Eric Winter from the Prince Law Office. And he talks about the fact that school boards are not the people who are making the decisions about what's happening with our children. And he talks about what should be done. And he says, I'm going to read to you from his document. If you are a member of a school board, the school board should vote to authorize the solicitor to file an amicus brief regarding legal actions that have already been taken. Not a lawsuit, but an amicus brief. These cases aren't simply about masking or vaccination or something. It's truly about the authority of school boards to make decisions.
Dr. Fike, we're already outside of the meeting. Citizens' comments occurred. The next item on the agenda
I asked to do that before you asked for citizen comments, and you ignored me.
I had already started citizens' comments as soon as you came back.
I said that,
So
I started to talk, and you said citizen comments.
I allowed 3 minutes of recess. I asked for that. If you wanted to stop that, you should have stopped it then. I don't really care what Mr. Winters has said. Does this
And you don't
board
care about our
entertain-
kids either.
You know what? I'm sorry that you're the only person that wastes every day of their time caring about our kids. It's only you. I need a motion to adjourn.
Certainly isn't you.
I need a second. All those in favor?
Certainly isn't you.